Dragons Live, presented by Form Communications.
Hello everyone and welcome to Dragons Live. I'm your host, John Webby Webking. Alexis is back home for the summer. This is our final episode of Dragons Live for the 2017-18 year, and what a year it's been. Through all the ups and downs, we arrive here together to talk about the incredible student athletes, coaches, staff, and supporters that made this year truly something special. Leading us off tonight is the last of the teams to finish their postseason, Dragons Track and Field, which sent 2 to nationals just last weekend. Here to recap is head coach Ryan Milner.
So outdoor track and field season, a lot of it being a first-year head coach was kind of establishing baseline, standards, expectations, what we're going to be as a program going forward. I think we did a decent job of laying that out for the kids. Performance-wise, we saw some people really respond to those things and do some great things. You have, Judith won her first conference championship in the 400. Obviously, Brian had an exceptional season. Josh comes away All-American. So you saw the results of the process we're starting to put in place.
So first year head coach, first year interim head coach, what are some lessons that you learned and what are some big takeaways from you?
Takeaways are, similar to every time I've been coaching, and it's just valuing the time you spend with the athletes. The nice thing about being head coach is you get to do that with a whole lot more people because you're more engaged with all the event groups than I had been previously. So that was awesome. I try and come up with an analogy. It's kind of a little bit like being on an island. So when things are going great and smooth, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, it's a place where everybody wants to be. When things are rough as they can be in a transition, you're kind of getting battered by waves from every which direction, whether it's, advocating for practice time or, trying to figure out planning and doing paperwork while you want to be on the track and all those type of things. But it's nice to be able to kind of figure out a direction you want to go and implement it and see people buying into that and being excited about it.
One thing we got really excited about here was nationals and conference before that as well. Recap conference and how that led into Josh and Brian at nationals.
Yeah, it was a good stepping stone for where we wanted to be at the national meet. As I tell the team all the time, what we always focus on is championship racing, championship competition. So for us, that usually falls at conference, and then the people who've earned the right to go nationals, we usually like to use one to build on the next. You take the momentum of the successes you have there, and you hopefully see that momentum carry into the national championship.
Well, and your national championship had 2 All-Americans and 1 national champion, your first.
Yeah.
What's that like as a coach to see your athletes accomplish those heights?
It's awesome. Anytime you have athletes like we have here, you want to see them be successful on that stage. The most people who pay attention to MSUM athletics, they see just a snapshot of the athlete most of the time. So it's, when we do something like what we're doing now, it's, maybe an article in the paper or a highlight on the website. As a coach, you see all this stuff, the spaces in between that the normal person doesn't see. You see them in the weight room, you see them on the track, you see them rushing to dinner, you see them doing their homework. So when you see all the real work that goes into it, the process that makes them great, to have the result that they do, that's really satisfying.
And finally, what does the future look like for Dragons Track and Field?
It's getting better and better and better every year. When I talk to recruits, the things that I'm usually stressing are we're trying to be exceptional, mind, body, and character. If we do all of those things, we put the process in place to continue growing in those areas. The outcome we're looking for is a championship level program in all of those areas. At the conference level, at the national level, we want people leaving here, getting jobs, being valued in their communities. Those are going to be the benchmarks that we look at as far as whether or not we're being successful.
Hitting that 791 at conference kind of put into my mind more that I could actually win this. It's a legit experience where I could actually go in and I could actually win the national meet this year, which I felt like I could do for a while. I felt like I could do it indoor, but hitting that big mark actually, kind of solidified in my head that okay, I can actually legit win a national championship. So.
And you took third at indoor.
Yep.
And that put into your head, okay, top 3, standing on the podium, this feels pretty good. You go to outdoor conference, and now you're ranked number 1.
Yep.
Going into nationals. Did that pressure affect you at all, or help you step up?
So I know a lot of times when somebody comes in ranked first, they don't always get first at the national meet. So, and rankings, going into nationals don't always mean a whole lot. So I really didn't want to let that get to me. I knew I was going to be number 1 coming in, but I knew that somebody's going to end up jumping big. Somebody always comes out of nowhere and jumps a big mark. So I really tried not to let that affect me and my mindset going into it. And so obviously I think I did a pretty good job at that.
And how did your coaches kind of help you with that, with Milner and Coach Barry kind of around you during that time?
I think one thing Trevor always stressed to me is not to be complacent. Hitting almost 26 feet at conference, he was just worried that maybe I would take that and feel like, okay, I'm kind of peaked at that. But he just really stressed to me that I have more in the tank. I could do a lot more, and so I think just having the mentality that I could get over 8 meters now, I think that really helped me a lot.
So I'm going to read a little bit of the stat line of, I guess, your legacy here. This was you're our first national champ in 10 years since Jennifer Hensel. You're only the second male MSUM national champion since we went Division II. You're the first male in the NSIC, school records, and a 4-time All-American. What does that body of work mean to you?
I guess it just really shows that hard work and dedication actually pays off. I feel like I've taken my time here pretty seriously, and like I said, I've worked really hard, and I think this is something I've been trying to build up to for a long time. So, being able to finish off as a national champion is pretty incredible for me, because when I first came here, I didn't even know that would necessarily be something I could do. I just wanted to make the national meet. So, being a national champion and hearing that 4-time All-American, it feels pretty good.
So I guess the question that Doug asked you at nationals was, what does being a Dragon mean to you? Have you thought about that at all now that your track career is over and you're graduated and you're off to the new world and figuring out what's next?
Yeah, so I guess it's something that really hasn't set in fully yet, that I'm done as a Dragon here, but like I said earlier in my other interview, that this has been the best experience of my life. I wouldn't take any of it back. Like I said, there's been a lot of ups and downs, but to end my career as a national champion and to see my teammate also get All-American this year, I mean, it's been a pretty cool experience, and I just hope that my teammates can do well in the next few years, and hopefully I represent the Dragons good, and I guess that's about it.
And one thing I think that is easy to see from the body of work is setting a new standard for Dragon track and field, especially in the long jump category, and just the way you conduct yourself as well. What does it mean to you to kind of set the new high mark, the new what's possible for Dragon track and field in the new era?
Yeah, I guess one thing that I think about my time here and being able to get over 26 feet is it really to show that you can really do something if you set your mind to it. Coming in, I jumped 23 feet out of high school. I saw the record was 24:11, something like that, and I didn't even necessarily think I could get that. So just really working hard and being dedicated to something like that, you can really accomplish more than you ever thought you could. So.
And I guess what's next? What's next for you?
Well, I'd like to keep training. I'm gonna, I have a good coach now. Trevor's been awesome, so I'm definitely gonna take full advantage of that. I think right now my next step is looking towards the USA National Championships in June. I hit the qualifying mark for that, which was 795, so my 798 will qualify for me. And then, all I got to do is wait to see if, I make the top 18 in the U.S. this year. If I can do that, then I can get to that meet. Hopefully I can jump well there, maybe make a little bit of money there, and then, keep trying to find some other meets, maybe get overseas and compete at a few meets overseas, and, just take it as it comes, I guess.
And your 2018 men's long jump champion from MSU Moorhead with a new personal best, 7 meters 98, 26 feet 2 1/4 inch, Brian Huber. Huber takes his award from Trevor Barrett, world-class high jumper.
Congratulations on another incredible track season. We'll recap the track results from the last few meets later on in the show. Before that recap, stick around after the break as we recap the entire year from the eyes of Athletics Director Doug Peters.
Another day. And just like every day, it never seems to slow down. But you have a plan. Grab a cup, grab the paper, and grab a little time. Just for you. It's worth it. Don't get the paper? Just grab the phone. Call now and save up to 60% off the newsstand price. Journalists, bringing the story home every day.
Welcome back to Dragons Live. Another record-breaking year for the Dragons gets us all fired up. No one more fired up, however, than our own AD Doug Peters after completing his 11th year leading Dragon Athletics. I caught up with him earlier this week for a recap on the 2017-18 season.
Doug, could you please recap the athletic year for us today?
Ooh, that's a tough one, Webby. A lot of things happened this year. I think it was definitely a year of growth for Dragon Athletics. There were growing pains, and there were some successes that came from growth. I think two highlights of the past year that don't necessarily have to do with our teams is we got to host 2 conference championships. We hosted the NSIC conference cross-country meet for both the men and the women. And we got to host the swimming and diving meet and be the opening meet at the Holbert Aquatic Center over in West Fargo. So those are 2 things that definitely stuck out from a highlight standpoint. I think when I talk about the growing pains, the football season was a little bit of a growing pain. As we've gotten to a point where we're good, but how do you get to that next level? And it's a challenge to make that jump. And we took a step back. I'd like to go on a little bit further. I think we had a lot of young athletes also on our volleyball team and trying to grow there. And then you start to think about some of the individual accomplishments we had, and you're kind of like, wow, that really happened when you think about Aaron Sullivan in swimming leaving as our all-time points leader. When you think about Josh Young in cross country being the first Division II All-American in cross country since 1968, that's mind-boggling in itself. You look at what Drew Sandus accomplished in her career and the back-to-back conference titles out of the women's basketball team. Tanner Kretschmann hitting that career assist record and the things he brought to our program. Then you look at a young man, Zach Scott, coming out of nowhere to go to the Nationals in wrestling. Those are all highlights, I think, from the year that we look at. Then you get into the spring, and the highlight of the spring, obviously, right now is Brian Huber winning the national championship in the long jump this past weekend out at Charlotte. You think about his jump, put him in the top 40 in the world. That's pretty amazing in itself. And then Josh Young came back and earned All-American status in the 1500. So those are some of the highlights that come out of the year.
What are some of those changes that you put in now you're starting to see some of the fruits of?
Well, I think as an athletic department, we're getting more and more effective with the resources that we have from a scholarship standpoint as our scholarship amounts eclipse the $1.2 million mark. And how do we better use those athletic scholarships to get not only student athletes that can compete at this level, but that really want to be Dragons. And so that's exciting. I think of a seed that we've definitely planted. I'm awfully excited about what Coach Kopitz is doing with our soccer program and seeing the continued growth there. Those are a couple of examples. I think as we see our continued investment in the weight room and strength and conditioning, as we got a bigger staff now, we're starting to see some of those impacts out there. The list is so long, Webby, you just can't name them all.
What does the future hold for Dragon Athletics?
Well, hopefully continued growth. You know, you got the growth pains. Sometimes I think we're still, we've just gotten up and started walking. Now we really got to figure out how to run. So when we look towards the future, I think of outside changes, inside changes. One thing am excited about is our change in our Dragonfire Booster Club of trying to add more options as well as adding a season ticket option. I think that's a change that a lot of people will see. I think as we continue to look to improve how we are sharing what's going on in Dragon Athletics, I look at this past year and have a lot of pride. The Go team live streamed every single home event that we hosted. So you think about that. We hosted a cross-country meet, a track meet where we had 7 different cameras going. You look at what we've done at tennis. I think of trying to share and communicate what our athletic department is doing across a variety of platforms. We just need to continue growing on that because we want to be first. We want to finish first, not only in the standings, but in everything that we do. And in the places where we've had a lot of success, we want to continue to grow. In places that we haven't quite hit that bar that we're looking for, we need to continue striving to reach it.
I'm going to ask you a fun question because you love asking it of student athletes. What does being a Dragon mean to Doug Peters?
Wow, that's a turnaround right there, Webby. So I think there's 2 parts answer to that question. So I think the first part is the Dragons are part of Minnesota State University Moorhead. And when I think about our defined core values of grit, heart, and humility, and that we're trying to transform the world by transforming lives, I think that really also describes what we're trying to do in Dragon Athletics. When I think about what it means to me, it means I get the chance to come to work every day and try and help student athletes make their dreams come true. They don't necessarily always know what their dreams are, but trying to help them accomplish everything that they can as an athlete while helping them start to understand and shape what they want to do for the rest of their lives. And so I think about the aspiring doctors, the aspiring television personalities, you name it, the aspiring accountants. We can go down the list. And seeing the progress our student athletes are making towards those goals, that's what being a Dragon means to me, is just helping people accomplish their dreams.
As we end a year, we also begin a new one, like immediately. Can't waste a single day getting better for the next opportunity to compete. Alexis caught up with a few student athletes to see what they're doing this summer to prepare for next season.
Although the school year has come to a close, student athletes at MSUM are just getting started on their summer training. For soccer's Jessica Dahlman and football's Jerry Ray, their season is just 3 short months ahead.
Well, I'll be lifting at 6:15 in the morning, and I have a couple teammates that come in too. And so I think the plan right now is to lift 4 times a week and then run 2 times a week for June, and then it switches to more running versus more lifting, because for our sport we run for 90 minutes, so it's really important to stay in shape. We plan on having a distance day, so hopefully some of us can get together outside of that and be able to do the distance day together. So our goal is to be more on the winning side instead of the losing side of that, because we were so close in so many games.
So I go back home, I run a lot, do a lot of ladder work, I do a lot of footwork, because when we come back we do a lot of lifting and all that. Everyday lift, Monday through Friday, and then running also Tuesdays and Thursdays. I think in the summer it really helps because you gain a lot of weight, and off season nobody likes to lift or run, and it'll help me gain a lot of weight and help me keep my stamina and lift up.
Even though their seasons aren't as close, wrestling's Adam Blees and basketball's Jackie Volkert are still looking to put in work for their senior seasons ahead in the winter.
I've had 3 past successful years with my upperclassmen doing a great job of leading us, and this year I just hope that I can continue that and just keep improving my skills alone and my team skills. There are a lot of things that I'll be doing this summer. Obviously a lot of basketball. I'll be practicing and lifting every day. We will lift 3 to 4 times a week and condition as well. And then we also like to scrimmage with incoming freshmen.
I work at home, but I'll be back and forth almost every week, wrestling up here and working out and then going home. So yeah, trying to stay on the lifting and conditioning routine and then wrestling as much as time allows. The only way that guys in college get better is wrestling in the off season, because in season they're cutting weight and they're just making weight and wrestling. The off season was when you don't have to cut weight and you can learn. For our team, I hope our team has our best year since I've been there, but I want to make the national tournament and All-American. Ultimately, every year I've been here, that was a goal, but one last chance to do it. So.
Don't go anywhere. We still have Athletes of the Week, recaps, and track and field teammate game with a record-breaking top 5, all coming up after the break.
Are you someone who thinks car buying is a hassle? 9 out of 10 customers tell us the worst part about buying a car is the negotiation process. So we thought, let's get rid of it. Let's post our best price 24 hours a day for everyone to see and make the car buying experience more enjoyable. In fact, we took our salespeople off a commission pay plan. We paid them based on your satisfaction. And guess what happened? Happier customers. We guarantee it. Check it out at Valley Pre-Owned.
Welcome back to Dragons Live. We're going to jump right into our Courtyard by Marriott Athletes of the Week since our last show. Starting with tennis, Olivia Keelan, and track and field's Logan Spooner on April 22nd. On April 30th, we had softball's Emma Dummer and track and field's Summer Storm. And those are your Athletes of the Week presented by the Courtyard by Marriott. Now for a quick recap of the 2 sports who competed since our last show, track and field and softball. First, softball, who finished their season the weekend after our last show, hosting a rescheduled doubleheader against Northern State, going down 6-0 and 12-1. On the road for the final 4 games, softball would be swept by number 7 ranked Winona State. The following day, they would get a win at Upper Iowa 3-0, but would lose their final game of the year. Softball finished the year 14-30 and 5-19 in conference play. Track and field hosted their only home meet of the year, the Ron Masons Classic, on April 28th. Judith Robinson and Brian Huber led the way for the Dragons. Robinson took first in the 200 and 400, while Huber won the 200 and the long jump. Brandon Selbig took first in the steeplechase, and Josh Young won the 5,000. The NSIC multis were held on April 29th and 30th in Aberdeen. Summer Storm finished 6th in the HEP with an NCAA provisional score and was ranked 31st best in the nation. Jonas Matson finished 4th in the decathlon with the 2nd best score in school history. At the NDSU tune-up, Robinson took 2nd in the 100 and 200. Ivita Harner took 5th in the 400, and Zach Sweep led the men with a 4th place finish in the 110 hurdles. At the NSIC Outdoor Championships on the 12th in Winona, Josh Young led the way, winning the 1500 and the 800, his 4th and 5th NSIC championships in his career. Brian Huber crushed the field as he placed first in the long jump with the best jump in Division II this season. The jump of 25.11.5 set a new NSIC and MSUM record. Judith Robinson took first in the 400 with a personal best time. She would finish 2nd in the 200 as well. Summer Storm received all NSIC honors in the javelin, where she placed 3rd. Time now for our dad joke style teammate game where making your opponent laugh means you get a point. Let's see how track and field did in the last Papa John's teammate game.
You ready? What concert cost 45 cents? 50 Cent featuring Nickelback. Good one. Good start.
Okay. What did Jay-Z call his girlfriend before they were married? Fiance. Good one, good one. Thanks. Why are raspberries such bad drivers? Why? They're always getting themselves into jams. Don't look at me. Okay. Why did the math book look so sad? Because I had so many problems.
What did Adele say when she crossed the road? Hello from the other side. Dude, you're like a machine, man. Yeah. Hey. Knock, knock. Who's there? Who? Okay.
How many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh? Tentacles. Correct. When do Donald and Daffy Duck wake up? At the quack of dawn. Dawn.
Now it's time for our Dragons Live Top 5 of the Year. At number 5, tennis completed one of their most successful seasons ever with a second-place finish at the NSIC tournament. They finished the season with a 16-4 record with 9-2 conference mark and were undefeated at home. At number 4, Erin Sullivan became the all-time points leader at MSUM and was an All-American and All-Conference in the 100 backstroke. She finished first in the IM at the NSIC Championships and placed 5th at the NCAA National Meet in the 100 backstroke. Sullivan was the MSUM Female Athlete of the Year. At number 3, women's basketball goes back-to-back to win their second straight NSIC regular season title and their second straight trip to the NCAA National Tournament. Number 2, Josh Young, an All-American, All-Region, and All-NSIC first team in cross-country, finished 33rd at the national meet. He finished first in the 1,000-meter race at the NSIC Indoor Championships and was All-Conference. He took home the first place honors in the 1,500 and 800 races at the NSIC Outdoor and took 8th place in another All-American honors at the NCAA Outdoor Nationals. Young was the MSUM Male Athlete of the Year. At number 1, Brian Huber is your national champion. With a long jump of 26 feet 2 1/4 inches, he also placed 3rd in the long jump at the NCAA Indoor Nationals and earned All-American honors in both. And those are your Dragons Live Top 5 Moments of the Year, brought to you by Valley Imports. We've got a few more things before we let you go. Head to shopmsumdragons.com today and get 15% off all performance t-shirts through June 4th. Again, 15% off all performance t-shirts at the official online store of Dragon Athletics, shopmsumdragons.com. Calling all athletics alumni. Mark September 15th on your calendars for the All Dragons reunion. We're getting everyone back on campus to celebrate your time here at MSUM, as well as 100 years of Dragon football and 50 years of Dragons volleyball. Head to alldragons18.com and be sure to save September 15th in your calendar for the All Dragons reunion this fall. Get your golf on this summer with Dragon Golf Outings. First up on June 11th at the Moorhead Country Club is the Dragon Open, then the always popular Women's Scramble on July 10th. For more information, registration, and the sport-specific golf outings, visit msumdragons.com/summergolf today. We do unfortunately have a little sad news to deliver tonight. As some of you may already know, our head softball coach Kelsey Fail has resigned after 8 years in the position. This was a personal decision by Coach Fail, nothing salacious to report, just the end of her time at MSUM. She's been a caring coach, a wonderful leader of young women, and a personal friend of mine. And I know I speak for everyone at MSUM when I say good luck, and you'll be missed. Finally, a few others we will miss. Congratulations to our graduating Go Team members, athletic training students, student workers, and 24 Dragon student athletes. All of you make my job, this department, our community, and soon the world a better place. Thank you for your dedication to MSUM and good luck in the future. And of course, stay in touch. And thank you for joining us all year long here on Dragons Live. We hope you enjoyed the show. We're going to leave you with a little enjoyment of our own as a little fun we played on SID, Tom Berg. For our director, Alex Nelson, assistant Brett Keel, Alexis, and myself, thanks for watching, and of course, go Dragons.